Hello. In this video, I will be explaining the reinforcement learning interaction loop. Understanding the RL loop is the first step to building RL agents and training them in environments. Let's get started. Imagine a 5x5 grid, where one square is highlighted green, representing the goal. Player, represented by the blue circle, will be controlled by the RL agent. The agent's task is to navigate the player in the grid to reach the goal. First, let's define an environment. An environment is everything the agent interacts with. In this example, the environment is the entire player in a grid setting. Formally, it consists of several key components. A set of states S. These represent all the possible situations the environment can be in. A state is a complete snapshot of the environment at a given moment. It contains all the information needed to predict what will happen next, given an action. In our example, each position that the player could be in is a different state, because the environment will respond differently depending on where the player is. A set of actions A, which the agent can take. The agent can move the player up, down, left, or right in the grid by one square. A transition function P, which defines the probability of moving to a next state S prime when the agent takes action A in state S. If the player is in the top left corner, and the agent cues it to move right, the transition function determines that the next state has the player one square to the right. A reward function R, which gives a numerical reward for transitioning from state S to S prime via action A. The agent receives a +1 reward when the player reaches the green goal square, and 0 reward for every other action. An environment typically provides three main methods. Get observation. This method takes the current state and returns an observation. The observation contains the information that the agent will be given about the environment's current state. In this case, getObservation will return the player's current position. Reset. This method initializes the environment and returns the initial observation, ob0. The player is placed in the top left corner of the grid, and ob0 represents this starting position. Step. This method applies the agent's action to the environment and returns four things. Next_obs, the new observation after the action. If the agent makes the player move right, next_obs is its new position one square to the right. Reward. The reward received for taking the action. +1 if the player reaches the green square, 0 otherwise. Done. A boolean indicating if the current task has ended. This will be true if the player reaches the goal, and false otherwise. Info. Optional extra information about the environment. In short, the environment defines what is possible and what is valuable in the world the agent lives in. Next, let's define an agent. An agent is the learner or decision maker. It interacts with the environment and tries to maximize rewards. All it is capable of doing is taking in observations from the environment and outputting actions. Formally, it consists of a policy, pi, which maps states to a probability distribution over actions. This tells the agent what action to take in each state. In the grid, the policy might assign higher probabilities to actions that move the player closer to the goal. An agent typically provides two methods. Sample action. Given the current observation, this method chooses an action based on the agent's policy. In this position, sample action from the agent might return move right. Update policy. The agent will have a way to update its policy based on the observations and rewards it has witnessed. There are many different algorithms that do this, and they will be the topics of future videos. Now, let's put the environment and agent together and show the RL loop using our 5x5 grid example. The RL loop starts by initializing a variable done to false, which will represent if the current iteration is finished or not. Next, the environment calls its reset method for initialization. The player gets reset to the top left corner of the grid. Now, we repeat the following sequence of events until done becomes set to true by the environment. The agent uses this observation to select an action using its sample action method. The environment takes this action and performs it by calling step, responding with next_obs, reward, done, and info. The agent uses this information to update its policy. Then we set obs to next obs and repeat. This loop continues until the task is solved, or until a maximum number of steps is reached. This sequence of states, actions, and rewards that begins with reset and continues until the environment signals done to true is called an episode. Once the episode ends, a new episode may start by calling reset and repeating the loop. This video has covered the full RL loop with a simple example. Thank you for watching.